Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I will be splitting my time with my colleague, the member for Fort McMurray Cold Lake. Mr. Speaker, I rise this evening to speak on Bill C-10, an act respecting certain measures related to COVID-19. Specifically, what Bill C-10 does is allocate $2.5 billion towards rapid testing. At the outset of the COVID-19 pandemic, Conservatives have consistently and repeatedly called on the government to make rapid testing a priority. It has now been more than 2 years since COVID arrived, and over the last more than 2 years, this government's record when it comes to rapid testing is precisely the opposite of that. For more than 2 years, this government has repeatedly and consistently dropped the ball when it comes to rapid testing. The numbers speak for themselves in terms of this government's failure when it comes to rapid testing. This government very recently made a commitment to deliver tens of millions of rapid tests to the provinces in January. Mr. Speaker, this government has failed in terms of the promises that they made to the provinces. Take the province of Ontario, for example. This government promised the province of Ontario 53.3 million rapid tests. This government has delivered 17.6 million rapid tests. In other words, the government has delivered less than a third of the commitment that they made to the province of Ontario for January. In my province of Alberta, this government promised 16 million rapid tests for January. Turns out, this government has delivered less than 5 million rapid tests, barely 30% delivered to Alberta from what this government committed to for January. Similarly, the province of Manitoba has stated that they've received only 2.5 million rapid tests, less than half of what this government committed to for January. Mr. Speaker, those are the numbers. And I say, Mr. Speaker, talk about failure. Now, early on in the pandemic, small business owners, leaders of key sectors of the Canadian economy, including tourism and hospitality, urged this government to come forward with a comprehensive, robust, rapid testing strategy to acquire and distribute rapid tests so that their doors could remain open safely and avoid the kinds of lockdowns and restrictions that have shut down businesses and cost Canadians hundreds of thousands of jobs. Mr. Speaker, what was the government's response to those calls? Mr. Speaker, very simply, this government ignored them. And not only that, this government attacked the very people, including members on this side of the House, who were calling on the government to prioritize rapid testing. I can recall the Deputy Prime Minister in November 2020 in this House, in answer to a question posed by my former Conservative colleague, the then member for Cloverdale Langley City, in which the Deputy Prime Minister said that those who were promoting the use of rapid tests were selling snake oil. Snake oil, Mr. Speaker. That from the Deputy Prime Minister and future leader of the Liberal Party of Canada, equating rapid tests with snake oil. While this government was attacking those who were calling on it to come up with a plan to get rapid tests out, other countries took the opposite approach. They were procuring and distributing rapid tests. Many jurisdictions were getting rapid testing kits out to their populations at little or no cost so that they could stay open. Businesses could stay open, such as Germany, Mr. Speaker, such as London, England. Mr. Speaker, there is a long list of jurisdictions that did so successfully, but not Canada. So, after more than 2 years of failure, now, all of a sudden, rapid testing is a priority of this government. All of a sudden, they've seen the light. All of a sudden, they're saying we've got to ram through Bill C-10 with limited scrutiny and debate. Mr. Speaker, I say, when it comes to C-10, too little, too late. If anything, Mr. Speaker, what Bill C-10 demonstrates is the complete and utter incompetence of this government and complete failure to come up with a plan with respect to rapid testing. Now, Mr. Speaker, speaking of incompetence and the failure to come up with a plan on the part of this government, today the Liberals, along with their NDP coalition partner, voted against a very reasonable Conservative motion simply calling on the government to come up with a plan to lift federal restrictions and mandates. Now, in fairness, Mr. Speaker, the best that could be said of the Liberals is that they did something that they haven't done in a long time, and that is to be honest, because they admitted, Mr. Speaker, that they don't like plans, that they can't plan, that they haven't had a plan throughout COVID. Mr. Speaker, if this government did have a plan, we wouldn't be debating Bill C-10 tonight.
Yeah.
There wouldn't be tens of millions of shortages with respect to rapid testing, and the $2.5 billion that this government is requesting would have been out the door a long time ago. This is not about a government saving the day. This is about a government that is in a state of panic and scrambling to cover up their record of failure. And Mr. Speaker, after more than 2 long years, Canadians do deserve a plan from this government when it comes to lifting restrictions and mandates. With more than 90% of Canadians vaccinated, what is it going to take this government? What is this government's exit strategy? How much longer are Canadians supposed to wait? Canadians deserve to know when it is that they can expect to take back control of their lives, and they deserve an answer from this government now. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.